Hi, this is Beaux Pilgrim here at Beaux Insurance, Read Insurance, talking today about 6 different coverage parts to most policies you buy on your home. There's 6 different things inside of there that you really need to pay attention to, because if you make a mistake here, it could cost you just tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, whenever you have a claim. I mean, these are very important things that a lot of times whenever a salesperson is reviewing it with you, they haven't taken the adequate time to help you to understand what it is you're buying and what the implication can be to you on claim day. You know, don't focus so much on how much money you're saving up front. You need to focus on these coverages. That way, whenever a claim happens, you won't be, losing all those savings you had accumulated because of just scrimping on coverage. So let's talk about that, and let's start talking about the first thing here. So coverage A, or the dwelling limit, is the first thing we're going to talk about. So coverage A, that's the very first thing we're going to talk about. That is how much you are going to insure your home for. You know, whether you have a condo, a dwelling policy, or a homeowner policy, you've got to pick this. Now, sometimes that's going to be dictated either by the contract in the condo policy, or also potentially by what the replacement cost, or the insurance company is saying, this is what it's going to cost to rebuild this property. So understand, on a homeowner policy, we don't insure it for what the market value is. If you buy it for, let's say, $350,000, but it's going to cost you $400,000 to rebuild it, we're going to insure it for the $400,000. Well, why is that? Because the policy is designed to rebuild or replace that home, not just buy another one or just give you the money for it. It's not designed to just protect you against your mortgage balance. It's designed to protect you and your family, to make sure that if something happens, you can rebuild that home where your family has been living. The second thing that we're going to talk about is going to be the content. Sometimes it's called personal property. That's going to be all the stuff inside of the house. Now that's a little bit limiting to say just that, because it's also the stuff that's outside the house, in the yard, like kids' toys, or your lawnmower, or tools that are out in the shop. All those different things that are movable like that are included as personal property, or your contents. Typically in a homeowner policy, it's going to be automatically set at either 50% or maybe 75%, depending on the type of policy you have. Review that and make sure that it's enough. A lot of times we'll see that number. Let's say that you insure your home for $500,000. Well, that contents limit is going to be $250,000. You may think, well, that's way too much. Well, I don't know. Start thinking about all the different things that you have, and you may decide that, well, maybe that's not that far out of range. But understand that in a homeowner policy, that's just a part of the policy. It's included in there. It doesn't cost any more to have that limit, but if you want to raise it, it will cost you more to raise that, but typically it's not very much to raise it. That's content. So the dwelling, then the contents. Now the third thing is going to be other structures. That's like sheds, fences, a deck that you have, different things like that that are not attached to the house, but that are out there on your property that you own. That's other structures. You want coverage for that. That's typically going to be an automatic amount for that as well, but you can increase that. So review it, make sure that you've got enough insurance for those things. Building costs are very high these days. You want to make sure that you've got adequate insurance on those sheds and other structures you have on your property. The next thing is going to be loss of use. This is a very important part of the coverage. If you have a claim that's going to displace you from your house, you need to make sure that you have this on your policy. Loss of use is going to be automatic coverage that they're going to give to you if you are displaced from your home. It's going to give you stuff like emergency cash so that you can live somewhere else. Maybe get a hotel or something like that. Or if you're going to be out of your home for a long period of time, you can rent a place to live. Look, obviously if you have a claim, you could potentially go live with a family or something like that, but why do that if your policy will pay for you to live somewhere else? The loss of use is going to be coverage so that you don't have to worry about, where am I going to sleep tonight? Where am I going to find the money to pay for the extra food, the extra utilities, the extra rent, the extra gas, because now you got to commute further. This section of the policy is going to take care of that stuff for you. The next thing is going to be medical payments coverage. Medical payments is a no-fault liability coverage for you, for anybody that is there at your home or gets hurt somehow. where you are residing, like maybe you're on vacation or something like that, and someone was to get hurt, it's not your fault, but you just want to cover it underneath your policy. Usually this is a small limit, $5,000 or $10,000 typically, but this is a coverage that's in there now. Now here's the last thing I think is really, to me, is probably the most important, but it's often overlooked, and that's going to be your liability insurance. The liability insurance is going to be a limit of coverage designed to protect you in case someone either gets injured because of your actions or brings a lawsuit against you. This is going to protect you and really protect your assets. Think about that. This is going to protect your assets, protect all the things that you've accumulated, you saved for, the retirement that you've built up for one day whenever you retire. It's going to protect all of that and also provide you with legal defense. You heard that right. This is going to protect you and provide you with legal defense, provide you with an attorney. Liability insurance is going to come in a limit, and it's going to be something like $100,000, $300,000, or $500,000, or you may buy what's called an umbrella to buy additional $500,000 or $1 million or even higher depending on your needs. So this coverage here, make sure you're not picking the lowest limit. If you've got a house that's valued at $300,000, buy more than that. It just costs so little to buy additional coverage here. This is the most inexpensive part of your policy. So make sure that you're buying adequate coverage, because if you have a claim, you want to make sure that you're protected, that your assets are protected, because there's nothing that can set you back financially and devastate a family more than a liability claim that's not covered correctly. Because if you don't have enough coverage here, you're going to have to take care of it out of your pocket. If not, an attorney or a court decide to garnish your wages, or even maybe force you to sell your home, force you to liquidate some of your assets so that you can then pay for the damages that have been caused by you. So make sure that you don't scrimp here and buy adequate liability coverages. I just suggest you to buy the most that you can buy on that homeowner policy. And then if you need an umbrella, then go ahead and buy that too, because it's just not very expensive. So that's the 6 different things that are inside that homeowner policy, the basic coverages that are inside of there. You need to pay attention to these and make sure that you pick wisely so that you don't have a bad day on claim day. Hey, this is Beaux Pilgrim, Beaux Knows Insurance, Read Insurance. If you like this video, this helped you out, make sure you hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe button right now. This will help us to know how well we're doing for you. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section. I'd be glad to address any comments. I address every comment that we have, or every question that we have as well. I'm more than happy to. If you got an idea about a video, we've actually had some ideas about videos, and I have recorded those. I'll be glad to do that for you. So thanks again for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.